Today we're going to visit Skokloster. Skokloster, if you translate it directly from Swedish to English, Sko is a shoe and Kloster is a monastery. But this has nothing to do with a shoe, it has something to do with a monastery. Why? From the beginning, this area have a monastery. It was in the beginning of the Christianization of Sweden. And one of the kings was told to, you need to have a castle because you are a king. He have a relationship with a lady from Kiev in Russia. So of course they have to have some kind of house, a big house. So they made this castle. Still today is called Skokloster or monastery, even though it's a castle. And what is so special about this castle? Well, there's many things actually that is special about this castle. First of all, it's the biggest private-owned castle in Sweden. And it's also the oldest Baroque castle in the world. Baroque is an era where a typical kind of style, where you do the furniture and everything. And this is the oldest castle in the world with Baroque style. Very well preserved. One of the ladies that owned this castle, she decided that nothing could be sold or taken out of this castle. So she decided everything that comes into this castle should stay here. One of the history is that there is a room in here that they started to build. They want to build a big room. And what you see here in this picture is that you see that the carpenter and the workers that were building this room, for some reason they have to go. Something happened. So they just left everything. And it still today is left in that way. So if you walk into this room in this castle, still see the stuff as they were working yesterday. But this happened more than 400 years ago. Another thing that is very special about this castle, Carl Gustaf, the king, he decided to have a good army in that era, because we have a 30-year-long war going on in Sweden. So inside this castle, they have the largest collection of weapons, sword and cannons and guns. It's about 2,000 items preserved inside this castle. We are not far away from Sigtuna, and Sigtuna is considered to be the oldest city in Sweden. Some people say it's the first real city in Sweden. One thing about this castle, the story about art. The owner of this castle, Carl Gustaf Wrangel, and the family Brahe, they collected a lot of art. However, I think they haven't collected the most beautiful picture in the world, because you see it here right now. Here we have the frame, and inside the frame we have the famous Thomas Brandalin. Maybe in the future there will be a picture somewhere where you say, okay, this was the famous Thomas Brandalin, so look at this art. I don't know what this is actually. We find this one just outside the castle, so I guess they made it here. I guess that people are going to stay here and put their head in here and just pretend they are art. Well, now it's done. I have made my point. I don't know if you can see the clock up there. The clock up there shows about 9:15. Time now here is in the afternoon. It's a very hot day. But actually this clock kind of represents the feeling that you get when you come here to Skokloster, because it is actually like time have stopped. Like it was yesterday, somebody just forwarded time, and we are here and now. That is the old church, and it has this wooden bell house on the west side of the church. And here they have some cafe. Oh, I thought it was a real woman, but it's a statue or a mannequin. She looks dead. But Stella, what is your honest opinion about this castle?
The castle full of history.
Honest opinion about this castle is, it's really not a beautiful castle, it's not. Is it worth visiting? Yeah, because when you are here, when you walk around in this area, if you just read a little bit about the history about this castle, I mean the person behind this, the era of this time in Sweden, and you can really feel it when you are here. Most of the castles we have been visiting in Skokloster and in Holland and other castles, they are kind of like a tourist place where they made everything up.
Yeah, and I think, look, you can just pick apple there, or?
Yeah, they have a lot of apples. They have a lot of apple tree. And this is also something that is different to other castles, because in other castles you can see like rose gardens and flowers and fontaine. There's not a single fontaine here.
No.
There's no rose gardens, there's nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, the area in front of the castle is just plain area. I like apple trees because it looks like small shelters. They have a very nice shape.
Yeah.
So you can really see it's an apple tree from far away. But the most beautiful building here is the church.
Yes.
The church is nice. And you can see the lake in the background, the bell tower, and the construction of the church. Of course, I'm Swedish, so for me it's a special feeling. with the history of my country and everything. And even if you want to have a feeling of history, then you really should go out here and suck it in.